Yes. Now today the English medium mathematics lessons, this is O level. We are discussing about the equation lesson. Now we have come to quadratic equation. Now in this part 3 I am going to discuss with you how to solve quadratic equation by the quadratic formula, right? So let's see how to solve quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. Now students, you understand now. So you can see this is the general form of the quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c equals c, right? So this is the general equation, the general form of a quadratic equation. Now how to form a formula? You have to you have to apply the completing square method to this quadratic equation, right? So those steps I'm not going to mention here. I just write the last result. If you completing square of this quadratic equation, you get this type of solution for this x, right? See, this is the solution you get. X is equal minus b plus or minus within square root b square minus 4ac whole 1 divided by 2a, right? So you know meaning of simple a, coefficient of x square, simple b, coefficient of x, and c is the constant term, right? So by remembering this formula, you can find the solution here, plus or minus, then you get two solutions. Right, now okay students, now we move to the example, right? How to solve quadratic equation using formula. So this is my first example. So you can see here in this example, I want to solve this x square minus 4x minus 2 equals 0 equation by quadratic formula. So to find the solution, to find the root, if you want, you can take square root 6 as 2.44, right? Now you can see student, here this is the general form of the quadratic equation, right? X square plus bx plus c equals 0. You know, solution of this general formula is x is equal minus b plus or minus within square root b square minus 4ac over 2a, right? So now we should know simple a, coefficient of x square, simple b, coefficient of x, and the constant term, right? So here see coefficient of x square, right? So that is number in front of the x square here, that is 1. Then number in front of the x, that is negative 4, that is b, right? So b is negative 4, and here constant term, that is negative 2, right? So those are the three values, right? So when the equation is given, you should find the simple a, b, and c. Then write the solution. How? This is the general solution, right? So now you have to substitute value of b, value of a, and value of c. Here see, be careful. Here negative b, here b is also negative 4. That means you have to keep this negative sign. Here see, negative sign is keep here, b is negative 4, right? Then plus or minus b square negative 4 square, right? Then minus 4ac, that means 4 times a times c. 4 times a is 1, c is negative 2, right? Divide by whole thing, divide by, right? Speak of whole thing, divide by 2 times 1, right? Then if you solve this one, you can see here negative into negative 4. That means you can multiply negative negative, that is positive 4. You can write within bracket if you want. Then plus or minus, here you can see within square root, negative 4 square means negative 4 into negative 4. That is positive 16. Then these three values should multiply with using the sign. 4 into 1, 4 into 2, 8. what 8? Negative into negative positive 8, right? Then you can simplify the value inside the square root, right? So this one positive 4 plus or minus 16 plus 8, that is you get 24, right? So now to find the x value roots, you need the square root 24, but here in question they have given only square root 6, right? So using our first lesson, remember students, right, real numbers, we should find the third, right, square root 24 value. Let's see. So square root 24 you can write, right, as a perfect square number and unknown number, that is 4 into 6, right, 4 into 6. So then you can separately put the square root for 4 and 6, right, 4 and 6, square root 4 and 6. Then square root 4 is known value, right, so that is 2. Square root 6 they have given, right, so substitute that value 2.44. Then 2.44 should multiply by 2, right? So then easily you get 4.88. Now here square root 24 is 4.88. Now put here 4 plus or minus square root 24 is 4.88. Now how to find the x? You have to separately take plus and minus, right? So let's see. If you take positive sign, right, x is equal positive 4 plus, right, 4.88, right? So this value. Then if you take the negative sign here, that is or x is equal positive 4 minus 4.88, right? Now you should simplify the numerator because there are two values, right? So you can't divide by 2. So simplify these two. What are the sign, student? Positive 4, positive 4, positive, right? So positive mean you have to add, right? So then 4 plus 4.88 you add, that is 8.88, okay. Then this one how to simplify this number positive, this number negative, right? So one is positive, one is negative, mean you have to subtract what? Less value from the greater value. That means 4 subtract from 4.88, then you get 0.88. What is sign? Sign is the greater number, that is negative, right? Now you have to divide. So only one value, 8.88 divided by 2 is easily 4.44, or this one divide negative 0.44. Those are the two values of x. Those are the root of this quadratic equation. Right, now students, shall we move to another example? This is the second example I will discuss with you. So this is my question. So you have to solve this quadratic equation 2x square minus 7x plus 4 equals 0 by using the quadratic formula. So to find the roots, so you can take square root 17 as 4.12. So difference is this quadratic equation, student, coefficient of x square. You can see x square term, there is a number in front of the x square term. So in the completing square method, if there is a number in front of the x square term, you have to remove this number. Now in the formula, no matter, you can solve by substituting into the formula, right? So first one is, see, this is the general form of the quadratic equation, right? So then what are the solution? This is the solution, right? So we are familiar with that one. Now you should find simple a, b and c, right? So let's see. Simple a is coefficient of x square, that is 2, right? So is 2. B is the number in front of x, so here in front of x, that is negative 7, right? Then constant number here positive 4, right? Now this is the formula. Now you have to substitute, right? So be careful here. Negative b is negative 7, right? So how to simplify, substitute Negative is here, keep the negative. B is negative 7, right? Then plus or minus b square negative 7 square minus 4 into a into c. 4 into a is 2, c is also 4, right? So then denominator 2 times a whole thing divided by 2, right? Then you can simplify this negative sign multiply by negative sign, right? So then negative into negative, that is positive 7. Then within the square root, negative 7 is square, you know student, negative 7 into negative 7, that is positive 49. So if you multiply these three number, 4 into 2 8, 8 into 4 32, but negative, right? So then within square root you can subtract 32 from 49, then you get 17, right? So now you need square root 17, so they have given square root 17, so you can put here square root 17 as 4.12. Now what you have to do, you have to take the positive sign and negative sign separately, right? So that means x is equal 7 plus 4.2, or x is equal 7 minus 4.2, right? So divide by 4, right? Then the numerator should simplify to take the one answer, right? So that means positive 7 positive 4.12, both positive means you have to add, right? 7 plus 4.12, that means 7 should add to 4, right? So this part decimal, this has no decimal, that means 7 and 4 add, then you get 11.12. Another part is here, you can see student, this is positive 7, this is positive negative 1.4.12, right? So this is positive, this is negative. If one number positive, if one number negative, mean you have to subtract, right? So let's see how to solve that one. So 7, right? Greater number is 7, then you have to subtract 4.12, right? So how to subtract? So 0 you can't subtract, take from 1, here 10, take from 1, here 10, 10 minus 2 is 8, here also 9, right? You can take 9 minus 1 is also 8, here 6, one take 6 minus 4 is, that is 2, right? So if you simplify this one, 2.28, so greater number 7, that is positive, that means positive 2.88, so that should divide by 4, right? So then this decimal number should divide by 4, right? So in a separate paper, see the long division, you have to divide 11.12 by 4, right? So it's an easy one. Then if you divide, you get 2.78, right? So this 2.8 is also divide by 4, right? So then we got 0.72. So those are the two roots. Okay students, now we do another example. So this is my third example, you can see student. So here you have to solve this equation. So this is a quadratic equation. X into x plus 8 equal 8 by using the quadratic formula to find the root. So if you want, you can take square root 6 as 2.44. Now you can see student this equation, right? So this equation is not in the general form, right? Not in the form of quadratic equation. So we have to first form this quadratic equation into usual form, right? So I explain you the general form. So this is a general form, solution is this one, right? So to find a solution using this quadratic formula, the quadratic equation should be in this form, ax square plus bx plus c equals 0 form, right? So now see this student, this is the equation, right? So this one, inside the bracket there are two terms, x and 8, right? That means the term in front of the bracket, that is x, you have to multiply both term. Then if you multiply x, you get x square, right? So if you multiply 8 into 8 by x, that is 8x, right? So then this constant number you can take into left hand side, so that is negative 8, right? So this is the usual form, right? X square plus 8x minus 8 equals 0, right? Now we can solve this quadratic equation, right, using the formula. Now number in front of x square, here you can see that is 1. Number in front of x, that is positive 8. Then constant number is negative 8, right? Now our formula is, student, this is the formula, you have to remember this one. Right, now put the value negative, right? Negative b, so that means negative sign is here, b is positive 8. Then with plus or minus within square root b square, that is positive 8 square, minus 4 times a times c, 4 is negative 4 into a is 1, you can see c is negative 8, right? Then whole thing divide by 2 times a, that is a is 1 to 2 times 1. Now here you can simplify this negative sign and positive sign, then multiply, then you get negative 8. Then within square root 8 square, that is 64. If you multiply these three numbers, 4 into 1 4 into 8, that is 32. What is the sign? 4 is negative, 8 is negative. When you multiply negative sign by negative sign, you get positive 32, right? So take the value inside the square root. What is value? Here negative 8 plus or minus 64 plus 32, that is 96, right? So now to find the x, you need square root 96, square root 96, but they have given square root 6 only, right? So that means square root 96 is a entire set. Remember, entire set. Now convert that one into third. How? See, square root 96 can write using perfect square number and another number, right? So that is 16 into 6, right? That means square root of 16 and square root of 6 product. So square root 16 we know value, student, that is 4. Then into square root 6. Now they have given square root 6. Now if you put here, you can multiply those two. 4 into 2.44, then you get 9.76, right? So then we can put here negative 8 plus or minus square root 96 is 9.76 divided by 2. Now how to solve? Take the plus sign and minus sign separately, right? So that is, those are the two roots. So now here see, student, negative 8, you have to simplify the numerator. Negative 8, positive 9.7. One is number negative, another number positive. How to solve? Subtract 9.76 minus 8, right? So then you get 1.76, that is greater number, positive. Here negative 8, negative 9.76, both negative, same sign. That means you have to add, right? Then if you add, right, 17.76, that is negative, right? So divide by 2. Then this decimal number should divide by 2, student, that is you can do, student, that is 0.88. or this decimal number if you divide, then you get negative 8.88. Those are the solution. Okay, now coming up next part, students, keep in touch. I'll discuss with you exam sums of quadratic equation. Exam sums of quadratic equation. Important part. You will get one question in second part, 10 marks question. So keep in touch. Maths Globe YouTube channel.